This video had to come eventually, and today is the day. So welcome class, take a seat. I've got my whiteboard or gray board ready. Let's talk about the Twitch Adpocalypse. Honestly, I think one of the best things about being a full-time YouTuber as long as I have, which I think has been over 10 years now, is that anything I see happen on Twitch, I've already seen happen on YouTube. Like, I knew the DMCA wave would happen on Twitch because I went through it on YouTube, and I've been through multiple adpocalypses on YouTube before. This is nothing new. So let's talk about what caused it, and let's talk about what you should do. Let's talk about what caused it, because I think a lot of people are misinformed. And then let's talk about what it means, what you should do, what should you change. This will be fun. But first, I need to thank the sponsor of today's video, Owned.pro, the easiest and fastest way to set up your live stream. Owned.pro gives you access to over 10,000 design elements that you can completely customize to create your own stream style, no matter how unique you want your stream to look. You can even customize the color of their pre-made overlays to match your branding. Setup is super fast and easy, or you can create a complete stream package in seconds with alerts, widgets, and labels added automatically. Upload your own assets that you've created yourself, access their massive widget library, or create elements from scratch. Own.pro is the easiest and fastest way to get started streaming. Check it out at the link in the description down below. I'll see you over there. Let's go to the whiteboard over here. Let's talk about the adpocalypse. Let's first start by talking about the three main problems that caused it. And I don't think they are what people think they are. First thing is Twitch itself, of course. Second thing is going to be the advertisers. Bring this line across here. The eraser tool was not a good idea. It doesn't work as well as I'd hoped. And the third cause of the adpocalypse is the Twitch community. Let's start with Twitch. Obviously, the biggest box here, the biggest problem. The most common rhetoric around why ad revenue has dropped significantly over the last month or so has been because Twitch has failed their moderation team, and they're letting people with extremist opinions talk about those, which is causing advertisers to get scared and pull out. I don't think that's the main reason. The main reason for the drop in ad revenue has actually been an issue that's been going on for a long time. It's just now finally coming to a head, and these extremist opinions kind of kicked it off. But the main reason is actually lack of content classification. We should probably actually put an X through that because it doesn't exist. It is almost impossible for an advertiser to narrow down their ads to a specific audience, which is something you can do on almost any other platform. This is because of two major issues. First issue, it is harder to classify content on Twitch than it is on YouTube. And that's not just because Twitch doesn't give you classification tools, it's because a 5-hour live stream is harder to generalize. It's harder to classify than a 10-minute YouTube video about a specific topic. Let me paint you a picture with an example here. Every time I post a YouTube video, it is about a single specific topic, like this one right now, or a single piece of gear or something like that. It has a title that YouTube can analyze. It has a thumbnail, description, tags, most importantly, an entire video that YouTube's algorithm can watch and determine what the video is about before anybody even sees it. This way, YouTube can know what it's about and it can put ads on the video that are directly relevant to the audience. This means that advertisers can be more direct. It means that the ads perform better and advertisers will want to spend more money on YouTube, making YouTubers more ad revenue. Also, every time I upload a YouTube video, it asks this brand safety checklist that I use to self-report any issues that might be in the video, and then it uses AI to double check that I was honest. Just lots of tools. On Twitch, if I go live for 5 hours, it's never based around a single topic. Most of it is completely unplanned and just chatting with my community and answering their questions. And it's also happening live. So there's nothing for Twitch to analyze ahead of time to place relevant ads on it. Live content at its core is just harder to advertise on than VOD content. Not to mention the viewers hate ads on live content because it replaces the stuff they're watching. But that's another whole story. Let's talk about the second classification issue, which is Twitch has not developed the tech for it. After the YouTube adpocalypse of 2017, they invested billions of dollars into this classification stuff. This is probably the area where Twitch is the most at fault, because it's crazy to me that Twitch has so heavily prioritized pushing for more and more ads, incentivizing streamers to play more ads instead of just making their ads more valuable by putting proper tech behind it. And honestly, I don't know why they haven't done that. It could be a lack of revenue and support from Amazon. Maybe Amazon doesn't think it's worth it to invest that amount that YouTube has. Maybe it's lazy leadership that didn't analyze what happened on YouTube and think maybe this is gonna happen to us. And maybe it's something completely outside of their control. I have no idea. But I do know that if I am a company that's advertising on social media platforms and I'm advertising a product, I put $1,000 of advertising onto YouTube and I make $5,000 back, but I put that same $1,000 into advertising on Twitch and I only get $1,200 back. By the way, those are not real numbers analyzed or anything, just giving you an example here. But I'm going to put more of an ad budget into YouTube. I'm not going to spend a lot of money on Twitch. And that's the core of the problem that's going on here. Political streamers could never cause an adpocalypse if Twitch advertisement was doing a great job. Like, there's just as much controversial stuff on YouTube. Advertisers just don't care. There are also a handful of smaller issues happening on Twitch also. For example, the audience is younger and so they have less money to spend, so it's not worth advertising to them. Twitch content is less diverse. It's mostly gaming. There are NASA engineers making things on YouTube. Every professional musician has every music video being played over there. But because Twitch content is more narrow, the list of potential advertisers is also going to be more narrow. And I will put inconsistent moderation into here too. I didn't want to make it sound like that's not a problem, but I do think that actually applies more to the next topic. Let's talk about the advertisers and how they're the issue. At the end of the day, the advertisers' one job is to make more money from the ads than they spent on the ads. In order to do that, you either have to have more successful ads or you have to have cheaper ads. And if you look at Twitch's system for content classification and more successful ads, I don't think that's really an option right now. So I think they're going for cheaper ads. If you want my opinion on this section right here, and this one is purely my opinion as someone who would call himself a brand. I don't think brands care that much about showing up next to controversial content. I think they pretend to care. Never once in my content consuming life have I watched a piece of content that I found offensive, and then when an ad popped up on it, I said, well, I'm not buying that thing because they clearly support this offensive thing. Like, real talk for just a second. Like, I am a 36-year-old, fairly wholesome dad of two. If an ad for my content or products went up next to corn, cool. Weird, but cool. As long as it works, it is what it is. I think advertisers are seeing a low return on their ad sales on Twitch. And so when controversy happens, they see an opportunity to squeeze lower rates out of Twitch. All they have to do is shift their ad budget from Twitch to YouTube for a couple months until Twitch comes back begging and their ROI has gone up. Or I guess this is an ROAS, return on ad spend. All you need is a large amount of advertisers to do this at the same time. So a controversy is kind of like a call to action that coordinates a bunch of them to do it. Keep in mind, this section right here is just my opinion as someone who's been in the industry for a long time, not backed by any specific data. I highly recommend watching Devin Nash's videos if you want the perspective of someone who actually runs ads on Twitch. Let's go to the final problem. The community. Let's be a little reflective here. We've gotten in the habit of every time we hear an opinion we don't like, we go to Twitter or X and blast it out, often tweeting at the advertisers of the content themselves. Look, guys, the more we scare advertisers away, the more they're gonna run away. It's just the consequences of our own actions. Now, that's not to say sometimes it's not important or a worthy cause. I'm just saying our tolerance for hearing things we disagree with has gotten thin. Do yourself a favor. This is an angry guy with an X for a mouth. Thought it was pretty cool. Next time you see something you don't like, go watch something else. Don't be like your friend's mom who boycotted Game of Thrones. Just watch your VeggieTales and be happy. VeggieTales kind of slaps though. So what do we do? What are the solutions? I got 3 for you. Diversify. And not just your platforms, but also your income. We all at this point know you should be also posting clips on TikTok and videos on YouTube, all those things. But you should also be asking yourself, do I have extra value, some behind the scenes stuff I can throw on Patreon? Do I have extra perks I can give my YouTube members? Do I have a business side hustle that I can start that I can advertise on my YouTube channel because it relates directly to it? Of all the revenue that I generate on social media, I would say even YouTube ad revenue, which is higher than Twitch ad revenue, that generates maybe 3 to 4% of my total income. And part of that's because I don't trust ad revenue. I have no control over that. So I focus on the other things more. If you're not thinking about that yet, maybe start thinking about it soon. And you know what? Maybe that's a streamer masterclass video that I should do. It's just a direct deep dive into how to diverse your income. Diverse your income? Diversify your income. Jeez, I'm not getting enough sleep. Number 2, a big reason people aren't able to diversify their income is because they haven't created unique value to their audience. If there's nothing that your audience comes to you for that they can only get from you, you're gonna have a hard time selling sponsorships on your channel because it's just as easy to go with someone else. You're never gonna be the biggest creator. There's only one of them. But if you're a destination where people come to you for a specific thing they need or want, regardless of how well the platform is doing as a whole, you'll end up creating a little bit of a bubble around yourself and you'll be less affected by these larger problems. And lastly, maybe chill out on Twitter a little bit. If someone says something you don't like, maybe just go watch something else. And sure, maybe that person you're tweeting about deserves it and the world needs to know that they're doing harm, but you just have to remember that streamers like Hasan, for example, will not be majorly affected by this adpocalypse, even though he's like the main target. Hasan has so much money and so many revenue streams. The ones who end up really getting damaged by this, even if it is caused by someone like Hasan, the ones who really get damaged are the small streamers who can't get sponsors yet and rely on that little bit of revenue. Just remember that splash damage is a thing, and rarely does something like that only affect one person. That's all. I'll put some links in the description to some other Adpocalypse videos that were really good, helped me a lot understanding this. Go check them out. And as always, happy streaming.